So while I've been forced to, send some videos about the rubbish that has been circulating around about me, let's just give it all right now. I'm accused of being a known associate of a certain lawyer from Greenpoint who was, recently charged with malicious damage to his neighbor's property. I think there were about, 50 posts made about it on the plagiarized group. Yeah, I don't know how I'm a known associate. It's beyond me, actually, other than, him representing me once and, bantering on social media when this person was active on social media many years ago. But to be a known associate, it's like any client of mine could be a known associate, according to this person. But it's almost like he's gone out of his way to try to annihilate myself, this known associate of mine, and somebody else that he keeps posting about on his group. He seems to be obsessed. It's like an obsession. And I think people should take note of it, the obsession that he displays, because I think it's very concerning, especially for someone who claims that his dignity has more rights than my book, which is my right of reply to being defamed and various false allegations being made. But, I think the problem here is that people live with shame. They live with a lot of shame for whatever things that happen to them in their lives, maybe in their childhood, things that they've done. You know what? Own it. Own it. The truth will set you free, and let it go. The problem with me is that there's just so many lies being created that it's you can only ignore it for so long. But then if people have been saying the same thing over and over with repetition for years, it starts, I don't know, it starts becoming almost like a truth in their world, but also at large, if they're circulating this kind of stuff on WhatsApp groups, on, behind the scenes on social media, or on social media for display for everyone to see. I mean, what was I accused of? Cyberbullying. I would like to see the evidence of that. Hacking people's accounts. Okay, maybe it's not that easy to prove that. But still, I think if you're going to make that kind of an accusation, you should be able to back it up with some kind of evidence, spamming their accounts with messages. Again, I've been accused of creating various false fake accounts on profiles that I used to troll people, that I've had numerous Facebook profiles deactivated by Facebook, completely false. But, yet this is in court documents under oath, which, I don't know, what is that? Perjury. It should be perjury. Okay, we've already heard dangerous, bribes, officials. Yeah, what else was there? So this is the type of stuff that's been created, because you can't really find dirt on me. Oh, there's been a poster created. The poster that was created has my photo, my company name, and then it's liar, con artist, nut job, and lists properties without agency to do so. And this was circulated far and wide. Oh, I was found guilty of misconduct. That's a whole other story. But this misconduct was, I had done all the educational requirements to become a principal estate agent. And let me tell you, it wasn't a small feat. It was a lot of things, a lot of steps I had to go through. I had to do a logbook, I had to do the NQF4, write the exam for PDF4, then I had to do the NQF5, and then I was busy preparing for the exam. But that qualified me to get my principal fidelity fund certificate finally after a couple of years. I'd had a baby, so I was a new mom again. running a household. My partner was disabled, and yet I did all these things. I fought with the EAAB as well to make sure I got my firm's FFC. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get to that place. And unfortunately, shortly before they issued my FFC, because I was waiting for them to issue it, I had all the evidence of how I had paid for my principal FFC, submitted all the documentation, including the email that was sent, etc. So I could prove that I was waiting on the EAAB to issue my principal FFC. And this agency that I brokered a deal together with, the entire firm was operating without a single FFC, without a single valid FFC. And the principal agent hadn't done any of the educational requirements, and so she didn't understand the compliance, the newly required compliance requirements. She'd been operating her firm with a newly appointed director who was not a principal agent. And that's where their non-compliance lay, and that's why they didn't have FFCs issued. And, they backdated a resignation letter, all that kind of nonsense to make themselves compliant. But in the interim, a complaint was lodged at the EAAB against me by her, that on my website, I had put my status as principal agent. And this was while waiting for them to issue my FFC. And so because the FFC hadn't been issued yet, but I had updated my status, that is why I was found guilty of misconduct. That's right. So, and then that little misconduct finding has been circulated far and wide to discredit me. Yeah. And, and I've got evidence of it. There was a rental housing tribunal hearing where the landlord was trying to, keep our deposit at a beautiful house we'd been renting, also bullied out of there by the agent. It's unbelievable. This place is toxic. Cape Town can be so toxic. And because this, thing came up that I was found guilty of misconduct and therefore my credibility is questionable, we didn't get our full deposit back. Yeah. So this is the type of thing that I put in my book. And I didn't change names. I kept real names because it's not defamation if you can prove the statements that you make. And I did. I've got proof of everything. Proof of everything. So this is the type of stuff I've had to deal with and just ignore and move on from. But you know what? There comes a time where it's like, okay, you know what? It's enough now. It's enough. I wanted to stop. And I thought writing my book meant that it would stop. But my book's been banned. So now I'm going to have a documentary made. That's it. It's going to the media. It's already been written. So, if anything happens to me, it doesn't matter. It's going to go to Netflix. And it's so funny because one of the people that has been, accusing me of various things keeps saying that they're going to go to Netflix. Netflix wants their story. But I don't know how real their story is because I haven't seen any evidence of the lies that they keep spewing about me, because it's all lies. And what is so strange is that majority of people believe it. This is the problem. The majority of people believe it. You know what? At the end of the day, the only person that really matters is the one up there. Because that's who's going to judge you, not anybody here. People can judge you here and they can persecute you and they can abuse you and they can withhold payment and, they can cause you to lose out financially. But ultimately, he has the last say. And heaven is real. And so is hell. And I think you should really consider what's going to happen to me when I die one day. Where am I going? Am I going to heaven or am I going to hell? It's a serious question. watch some near-death experiences. I think it'll be a real eye-opener for those who think that their reputation matters on this earth more than what the Creator knows and sees. Yeah, much more important.